exit polls are back again. This time, Rahul and I are going to bring you arguably the most fascinating election of 2023. That the election that lots of people have been looking out for, the numbers everyone wants to see. It's the Telangana Exit Poll.
I have in my hands the numbers for Telangana, all of Telangana, political observers across the country, and even those with any connection to Hyderabad or Telangana all around the world waiting for these numbers. So much so that some of the top leaders who'd seen their own polls, they'd seen some of the other polls, they said, we will believe only once India Today puts out its exact poll. They weren't willing to believe their own poll. They wanted to wait for the India Today numbers. So we're going to have that out in just a while.
I'll tell you what happened. I was sitting at a lunch table with 4 people who understand
so
their politics.
So, सुबह से मैं rundown बना रहा हूँ और आप lunch कर रहे हो बताया. This is like, you know, we need to change jobs.
This is at age at 58. When you're a consulting editor, you can choose your time. So I was sitting with some people and we were all politically very sharp. We were talking about it, and the table next to us overheard us talking about Telangana. Turned out that the person was from Hyderabad, came and took over our table and told us exactly what he believes is going to happen in Hyderabad.
Did he put the bill on?
Gave us reasons for it, wanted to know why we had not done the poll yesterday, gave all kinds of explanations, and then said at the end of the day, when I told him, you can watch it at 6 p.m., he said, don't worry, I watch your show regularly, and trust me, until those numbers come out, I will not believe what I saw yesterday. So, there are lots of people, and it's a very, very politically alive state.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I want to tell our viewers that the Access My India team was polling, and Pradeep Gupta is with us. He was polling till 4 p.m., till late this evening, because this is a post-poll study, and we're trying to make it as stratified as is possible. Our teams were out in the fields even till this evening, so we don't have proper sheets as we would in Excel sheets. It's a bit of a, hurriedly done job because the polling was going on till late in the evening. So Pradeep, first and foremost, I think a lot of people appreciated your decision to push the Telangana numbers by a day, because it's better to be safe than sorry, and it's better to the extent possible, make the effort to ensure there's no error.
It's called double check technique.
Double check technique.
Yeah, when you do the double check, whatever possible error, you may rectify them.
So let me just explain what that means for our viewers. So when you poll the first time, you get some seats where there are clear indicators, some seats which are tough fights. Yeah. By holding back your poll for a while, you have the opportunity of going back to those seats and sampling again to see if you pick up the same trend or you pick up a different trend. And that's what the India Today and Access My India teams do, and we've been doing, which is also why the India Today team, along with Access, has a 94% track record, 60 out of 64 polls being spot on. That doesn't mean anything. India played 10 matches really well and then lost the final. So we don't want to hype this up too much. We want to keep it real. This is an analytical exercise. Somehow I feel, Rajdeep, that it becomes like a matter of life and death, as if, the entire coverage depends on the poll. Frankly, it doesn't. This is an analytical tool, a very important analytical tool. But there is so much to our coverage, and this is a very significant aspect of it, but not the only aspect.
You see, part of the problem is my friend Mr. Gupta is a bit of an outlier. And therefore, the moment he was an outlier yesterday on Madhya Pradesh, for example, and I'm fully sympathetic to him, you suddenly have people making all kinds of wild allegations, totally baseless, because Pradeep is from Madhya Pradesh. So everyone wants to know, what is Pradeep's connections here and there. And I must give him a lot of credit. Even at that lunch, when I wanted to know the numbers, this was around 2:30, he said, wait till 4:30. And the guy sitting on my table with me, who was giving us all his gyan, was not willing to wait till 4:30. He actually was threatening to come to office with me and meet Mr. Gupta and tell Mr. Gupta exactly what's happening in North Telangana, Central Telangana, Hyderabad. But I think there's a lot of interest because the stakes are very high, increasingly in state elections. I think that's the big change that's taken place in recent times. It's not about what happens every 5 years in general elections. Every state election, and because Mr. Modi himself and the other side of the Congress in this case invest so much of energy in every poll now that media surround sound has become so high. Everyone wants to know what's happening. And frankly, eventually at 5 o'clock, I put my phone off for a half an hour so that no one would trouble me. But that's the way it is. But just to introduce Preeti Chaudhary, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Rajdeep.
Preeti is going to give us more insights. Rahul Verma is joining us. Ashok Malik, you're coming on day 2. Welcome.
Thank you.
And T.S. Sudhir. all the way from Hyderabad, with that wonderful moustache of his, which all of us should learn to get the right twirl that T.S. Sudhir has.
What's with that moustache?
Just like that. I change my look every 6 months.
He was stopped. We were having breakfast somewhere in Hyderabad. He was stopped. And they said, you were in that film, no? He's a bit of a film star. Bit of a film star looks.
I want to take a moment to talk about that video. Yes, that video which has been viraling like crazy. And people think it's some kind of a leaked video. In fact, one of the first calls I got this morning, Rajdeep, was from the Chief Minister of one of these states. I don't want to name him. But he said, मैंने वो आपका वीडियो देखा, उसमें कुछ ऐसा है नहीं, वो तो काफ़ी सामान्य आपकी बातचीत हो रही है. And उसमें मैंने काफ़ी लोग मुझे बताया, मैंने देखा, तो उसमें तो ठीक है. I said, sir, वो तो promo video है. He says, promo, वो leak नहीं हुआ. I said, sir, it's been tweeted out from the official handle of the India Today group. And it kind of went viral. So remember this one occasion when we were doing a dry run and we had testing data at the back and that viraled and went crazy. And here as well, a video treated as part of a promotion from the official handle of the India Today group. Everyone's in a spin thinking that that's some kind of a fake video.
You and Pradeep are very good actors. You see, Pradeep Gupta over the years has proven to be a decent dancer. He's more than a good actor. And then he sometimes also does polling. So that entire sequence in that video appears very real. And it was the subject of a full press conference was called based on the video.
What was that press conference
in Bhopal
about?
Today, a full press conference was called because they said the video has exposed the fact that the entire Madhya Pradesh poll has been rigged by Axis by India.
No.
Laddus were distributed to the journalists, saying we have proven now, we have proof.
You know, and the problem is there are some very senior leaders who are saying this. And the problem is that once a poll is done, and there's no polling happening after that, and only the results have to come out, apart from some prestige and some credibility and reputation and bragging rights, there's really nothing at stake. There's nothing that can change in a material fashion.
They try to say that EVMs can be rigged based on this poll because there is a tough fight kind of a situation. Then nobody can blame the ECI why this is happening, because poll is showing good, so where is the question of this?
No, but the fact is...
They have written that. They have written in the note.
But look at the way it's played out. Our poll in Chhattisgarh is giving the Congress the edge in what could be a hung assembly, but a clear edge to the Congress. Even in Rajasthan, it's giving the Congress the edge in what could again potentially be a hung assembly. So you've got two states where it's the Congress which is ahead. No one from the BJP, to be fair to them, has rung us up and said, your Rajasthan numbers are horribly wrong, we're going to win. I think the Congress in Madhya Pradesh seems to have got agitated. How are you giving such a big margin? That can
but
happen.
many in the BJP in Rajasthan are calling to say that this poll is completely bogus. Well,
no, they haven't at least gone public with it. Let's be honest. They haven't held press conferences. I haven't seen anyone hold a press conference in Rajasthan.
Immature. From some of the senior most Congress leaders in Madhya Pradesh, that's very immature.
Rahul, Rajdeep is right, because the difference in both the sides is that they may say that we don't accept your poll, which is fair and fine. Yeah. But you cannot charge allegation of my Pradeep Gupta ki 3 पीढ़ी RSS से संबंधित है और वगैरह 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 वगैरह.
But that's unfair, and I explain why. Because ultimately it's a post-poll study. None of this, if this is done before the polls, you can say it's done in an effort to influence the voters. It can be argued, which is not correct, but it can be argued. This is a post-poll exercise. Everything is done and dusted. So you have some bragging rights, you have Rajdeep and Pradeep doing a natu. I mean, all that is at stake. Whether the cake gets cut or doesn't get cut, I mean, really, that's what's at stake. And the fact that you have a very deep analytical study, which gives you insights which you wouldn't get on counting day.
No, some of the most intelligent people that I know are making all kinds of wild accusations. So I wish people just tracked polls more seriously,
but Rajdeep,
more rigorously.
The BJP hasn't also said anything because we've been the outlier in that poll where Rajasthan is concerned. Most polls are giving Rajasthan to the Bharatiya Janata Party.
So the overall sample size in these 5 states is 132,000 people. So these are 132,000 respondents who've not just answered with a yes or no. We've had the opportunity to ask them lots of questions about why they voted the way they did, who they think is the best chief minister, what are the issues that triggered them, what they think of the performance of the governments, etc., which you won't get in the data that comes from the Election Commission. That's the true value of the poll. So we have in Telangana, we'll put out the numbers in a short while from now, a sample size of 26,188. Our Madhya Pradesh sample size is 47,000, Rajasthan 38,500, Chhattisgarh 16,000, Mizoram 4,000. That's a very robust and a very big sample, Rajdeep. And that, I think, is the true utility. So don't look at some conspiracy or hang on to some leaked video which is being tweeted from the official handle of the India Today group. How can that ever be a leaked video?
And what is the big difference? I think viewers need to realize Pradeep's team is going to every constituency, which is, requires a lot of effort. Earlier, we would do random sampling. You chose, chose certain constituencies which were often bellwether constituencies. Based on that, you made extrapolations. He's not really extrapolating. The biggest challenge for any pollster is to get vote share transfer into seat share. That's the big challenge. You may get your vote share right, but you've got to get seat share. With Pradeep, I found interestingly, you may not agree, he sometimes doesn't always get his vote share right. But more often than not, he will get you your seat share right because he's going to every seat. And that's really what is the key. The key is to get your seat share right. And very often in the past, people would get vote share right, but would struggle to get seat share. Now we've got the reverse happening. So you've actually got to see this as a step up, that we are actually improving the way polling is done in India.
And lots of people were critiquing that how do you know OBCs are X percentage or Dalits are X, Y percentage or upper caste are such percentage. That is the percentage of the sample which we have in our survey. Obviously no caste study has been done, so we don't know how many Jats are there or how many Gujars are there, Meenas are there to the precise decimal. But what this does is it gives you, in the interest of transparency, in the interest of building credibility and trust around polling, put out in the public domain, which no other pollster does, the kind of detailing that India Today and Access My India make available in the public domain. Nobody else even ventures. They just take out a number from their bag and they put it out, lena hai lo, nahi lena mat lo.
Okay.